We are back with a brand new video. What is good, Heat Nation? In today's video, we're going to be discussing the poll that I made on Twitter a couple of days ago, where I asked the question, and you guys can see it right now. Would you rather A, stall it out and wait for KD or Donovan Mitchell to be traded, or B, cut our losses and then trade for a power forward, whether that be Duncan Robinson and a pick, or basically just use some of the assets that we will be trading for KD or Mitchell to just get a power forward right now, which we can get pretty easily. And it was pretty close. Like I didn't think it was going to be as close as it was. I kind of just put it out there just because I wanted to see, engage people's opinions, but it wasn't one-sided. It was 57% to 43%. And it was 14 people who voted, so it was a good amount. I encourage you guys, if you guys do not want to miss a single tweet of mine or poll, go follow my Twitter. It's in the description, so you guys can participate in tweets and polls like this. I also do spaces. Haven't done one in a little bit because there isn't really much to talk about, but I will be doing them more often as the season gets closer and closer. But I do want to give a big shout out to Ken in the comment section below before I get into what I would do, because he made a very, very good comment. He basically said it's a tough decision because he doesn't want to make a trade for someone like Jay Crowder, or he just said Jay Crowder as an example, but any power forward, and close the door on KD. But at the same time, he believes that, and he has an intuition that we don't really have the assets it takes to get KD, so he doesn't want to really wait around for no reason. And I completely understand that point. Now, what I would do is, there's a number of reasonings for what I would do. And I would go with the first option, which is wait for KD or Donovan Mitchell, and wait it out. And the reason is, number one, well, there are multiple reasons for this, but number one, we have come so far already. We have basically lost out on PJ Tucker because we were trying to go after Kevin Durant or Donovan Mitchell, and we did not want to hard cap ourselves. If the team was not trying to go after KD or Mitchell, PJ Tucker would be back on the team right now. I'm convinced, because I think the money is the main reason you chose Philly instead of staying in Miami. Philly offered him $33 million over 3 years guaranteed. We didn't really offer anything in that ballpark. I don't even think we offered him 3 years. I think we offered him 2 years. So the money was a big reason why he went to Philly, in my opinion. And I think, instead of hard capping ourselves and closing the window of us getting a star, we had to sacrifice losing out on PJ Tucker for the possibility of us getting KD or Mitchell. So I do not want that to go to waste, which is why I want to stick with the situation as long as possible, because I don't want to lose PJ for nothing. Number two, I do think that with the power forward, even if we strike out on KD or Mitchell, I don't think we have to panic, because I know a lot of people are like, okay, the power forwards, it's going to dry up. A lot of these guys, who were seemingly on the market are probably just going to start with their old teams, like the Miles Turners, the Harrison Barneses, the Jay Crowders. Like, a lot of these guys have been rumored with the Heat. If we don't make a move for them, someone else might make a move for them, or they might just stick it out with their own teams. And I'm guessing that, they're going to stick it out with their own teams if they don't get, another team does not pursue them. And I think that's where we can make a move at the deadline. So if we strike out on KD or Mitchell, we can wait till the deadline to get a four. We don't have to go trade for a four right now. I know a lot of people want us to do something. I know a lot of Heat fans are like, we have literally done nothing in this offseason besides bringing back 2 or 3 players, and I get the frustration, but you can't have it both ways, which is why I asked this question, because I think you can only be on one side of the fence. I don't think you can be on both sides of the fence. I don't think you can say, I want to go trade for a power forward right now, and also say, I want to go get KD and Mitchell. Because KD, let's be honest, KD can be the power forward, but we all know what I mean when I say this. Like, you can't say, I want to go get John Collins right now and also say, I want to be in the KD sweepstakes, because you can't have both worlds. You have to pick one side of the fence. And in my opinion, if you stick it out with KD for now, even if we don't get him, you still have until the trade deadline to make a move for a power forward. We still have assets on the team. I get it. A lot of people don't really feel like we have the assets to get KD or Mitchell, which is, it's true. We don't have the assets by ourselves. Otherwise, the deal would have been done by now. We have to go find a 3rd, 4th, 5th team to find this, to find a suitable trade for this to happen, which is easier said than done. Bam is the wild card. He is coveted by Brooklyn. Rightfully so, the Heat are not willing to trade him, which is good, because I know some Heat fans were like, we can give up Bam. We're getting KD. It doesn't work like that, because even if we do give up Bam, the defense falls off a cliff. Our center rotation now consists of Dedmon and Yurtseven, and Jimmy and KD is not winning a ring with a bunch of role players. Like, it's not going to happen. If the defense is just going to fall off a big cliff. You do not give up on a guy who's only 25 years old, who's a 20-10 player who can play make at a high level for his position, bring the ball up the court, initiate offense, set screens, guard 1 through 5. You do not give that up. You know, you want to pair him up with the KD. You want to pair him and Jimmy up with the third star. You do not want to give up Bam for a star. So rightfully so, the Heat are holding out and they're not giving up Bam, which is a good decision in my opinion, and it should be a no-brainer to anyone else. And then you have the whole debacle about the designated rookie extension thing, where him and Simmons cannot be on the same team. I just think that is unrealistic to expect Bam to be on in the trade. So you kind of just have to put your eggs in the basket, in my opinion, of trying to go get a third, fourth, fifth team and try to get this done. What I do not understand is, I don't understand why Utah wants so many picks from the Heat, because I understand from the Knicks why they would want a lot of picks, because the Knicks picks are better. The Knicks, because they're obviously going to suck. The Knicks are not going to be, they might be a playoff team, but they're not going to be as good as the Heat. Number two, they don't really have the talent level that the Heat are giving up, like Grimes, Toppin. None of these guys are like heroes level right now. So if we're going to be giving up Hero in the Mitchell trade, why do they still want 6 picks? Because that should be an offer from the Knicks, not from the Heat, if we're giving up the better talent and the player with more potential. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think Danny Ainge is just trying to hit a lick. He's just trying to, get as much as he can. And I just don't think the Heat are going to be, stupid in the situation. So, now I do expect something to happen, like before training camp, whether it's with KD or Mitchell. We saw the ultimatum that was put out by KD to Joe Tsai. Now they have a decision to make, whether they want to stick with the ownership and the front office and with the coaching staff, or whether they want to stick with Kevin Durant. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a no-brainer. You go with Kevin Durant because, he's the best player that you've had in such a long time. You can still you can still contend for a championship with that team on paper right now. Steve Nash hasn't been good. But at the same time, like, you got to think about it. Kevin Durant has shown that he can be a fuse waiting to burn. He can just be a ticking time bomb who can change his mind at any moment. And now you do not want to fire Sean Marks. Steve Nash, I get it. I mean, he hasn't been the best coach, but this is the coach that Kevin Durant wanted to hire. So I don't really, want. I don't think the Nets owner is going to cave in Joe Tsai. I don't think he's going to cave in to Kevin Durant's demands, because Kevin Durant has not done anything for that team. So I don't think it's as straightforward as a lot of people think it is. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I want you guys to let me know. Would you rather stick it out, wait for KD, or just go trade for a power forward right now? Like I said, my opinion is just wait it out for the KD and the Mitchell situation. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You can't do anything about it besides go get a power forward. So I think you can wait to get a power forward. I think there will be plenty of power forwards available at the deadline. I expect names to be available at the deadline. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe we can see Harrison Barnes being available at the deadline if the Kings are, I know the Kings are trying to push for the playoffs, but if it's not really working out for them, they want a higher pick. If their team is not really doing the best, trading away Harrison Barnes at his highest value right now could be good for them. That's just an example. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but anyone for that matter could be available at the deadline. And I think that's when the Heat can get their power forward if they need one, which they obviously do. Caleb Martin is the starting power forward right now, so or Jimmy Butler. But yeah, I think that I would wait for the KD, the Mitchell situation, see what happens with that. Wait for, I know, because right now it's like nobody's really giving up what Brooklyn or Utah wants. So they're going to have to lower their asking prices. I don't really see a world where KD or Mitchell is on the team. Like, maybe Mitchell, but I think KD is like, I know he has 4 years left on his contract, but if you just gave them an ultimatum saying he either has to be traded or the coach and the GM has to be fired, they're obviously going to pick one of those. They're not going to, because if they stick with KD and they stick with Steve Nash, you have an unhappy coach who's coaching a player who doesn't want him, and you have an unhappy player who's being coached by a player who's being coached by a coach who he doesn't want. So they have to do something. They have to make a decision. We'll see what happens. I expect something to happen before training camp, but the reason I say training camp is because if they are going to fire Steve Nash, I think the biggest or the most ideal time for them to find a replacement is before training camp. So, whoever the new coach is can come in and figure out the mold of the team and figure out what he's going to implement, his plays and stuff like that. So you need to give the new coach, if you're going to hire one, adequate time to gel with the team. You can't just do it abruptly. So that's why I say training camp. Even if you're going to trade Kevin Durant, I think training camp is also ideal date for that, because whoever you're getting back, you want them to gel with the team as well. So yeah, I think Brooklyn is gonna have to make a decision. We'll see what it is. But that's really the only bit of news that we have, is just the KD situation. I think really the whole NBA is on pause right now. Free agency, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's been really, really dry. So if you guys have any suggestions, any video ideas for me to do in the comment section below, like, just please let me know, because I'm struggling to find good ideas for videos right now, because I do not want to spend 15 minutes of my life every day talking about Kevin Durant when the situation is not going to change anytime soon. So I'm kind of over that whole KD saga. We'll see what happens as the weeks go by, but as of right now, if you guys have anything for me to react to, anything for me to do, like, just please put that in the comment section below, because I do want to listen to what you guys want me to do, and we can build this community along the way. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. Pretty good discussion about the whole KD situation. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. So yeah, we want to get there as soon as possible, man, and continue to build this community. And yeah, I'll see y'all later as always. Have a nice day. Peace.